Oh yeah, I have stuff that collects dust on my shelf. So let's get some of these items made over. So don't mind the dust. Um, but I love the shape of this. I know that it's new. It's, it's not old. Kind of looks like a bumblebee. Definitely you can tell it has that fake patina on it. So I just want to kind of get it painted into like a fall theme vibe, something just sweet and simple, something for my new paint to grab onto. There's lots of texture, which isn't any big deal. But yeah, I don't want it to just like, I want to paint it and have it come off. I'm going to try to sand what I can. I got as much as I could sanded, just something to scuff sand, give the new paint something to grab onto. And I didn't even know it had sweet little details that were painted on it that were kind of hidden by all that was going on with this guy. I do kind of still want to keep that older look to it. You can I don't know how new this piece is or how old this piece is. There's so many details with the rustiness that would say, oh, it's a little bit older. Or it would be so nice sometimes to know the history of a piece when you get something secondhand. I bought this off of a whatnot sale because I just absolutely love the shape of it. And they were such a fun couple selling. You kind of get into watching people's shows because of their personalities, Spray paint. There's so many angles to this, though I'm not going to do green. I know you see a lot of green going on here. I'm actually going to do some white and do some crackling on it. So this side should be dry now. Okay, my white paint's dry. Now I need to seal it in, and I'm going to be using some of the Pet Art clear varnish in the mat. And I'm going to pour it into because I think that'd be easiest for me. Using a soft bristle brush. I'm just going to go ahead and paint it on. It has and first time using this, I'm going to be doing the Pet Art crackle effect on this, and Sarah hooked me up with some of the products that work well with the crackling effect. Okay, and we'll just let it sit off to the side and let it dry. Pen Art Crackle comes with two parts, so we have part 1 and part 2. So now after the varnish is dry, we're going to go ahead and go in with part 1, kind of thing. There again, I'm just going to dump it into a cup because the brush I have is bigger. And then it says to use a soft brush. I just have chip brushes on hand, so hopefully it's soft enough. And then you just start to put it all over. It is when you put it on, you'll be like, yeah, that does feel like it does feel like an adhesive. Then after you get it all on, even though I know you can't see white on white, you just set it to the side and let it completely dry before adding step 2. Okay, now that my part 1 is dry, we are going to go in with the part 2. They are clearly labeled. It even says it on the side in case you, switch the lids accidentally. Well, you're not using them at the same time, so that would be weird, but hey, who's judging? So I just poured some in a bowl again, or a little cup. And now this one is much thinner, but this is where the magic starts to happen. Have a chemical reaction, part 1, and then part 2 somehow like tightens it up and makes that yummy crackling. Probably regret my chip brush. It's too late now though. Already doing it. Story of my life. Hey, that worked. Heat gun if you want. I'm not in a rush. I got other projects to work on, so I'm just going to let it do what it does, which does something completely amazing usually. This is the hard part of seeing this on film. Like to see the little crackles. I know it's really hard, especially since I painted it white. And we have pen art antiquing paste. Look at that little bitty jar. I bet you a little goes a long way. So, oh, I gotta get you closer. Oh, it just sticks in all those little. Oh, what is it about cracked paint that I just love? I just do. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's doing anything, does it? And then you're like, what? What? Taking off the tape off the bottom now. Now this is such a, like, you can tell that it's organized. It's cool though, organized. But I'm going to take a little bit of a sander to see if I can get a little bit of that yellow to come through, just so it'll look a little bit more aged. I'm just taking a wet paper towel, not a Clorox wipe, just a wet paper towel, getting that sanding dust, taking some more of the paste off. I wanted this to look like it has been used and it's been around for a lot of years. I like the yellow peeking through. May not be everybody's jam, but that's the fun of creating. You kind of just try to get your vision across of what you think something should look like. My initial plan, if this was going to turn out whiter, was I was going to put dried Sweet Annie in it. I ended up just taking clear wax, Fusion's clear wax, sealing it in. You're supposed to seal it in with some type of clear coat so that it doesn't stay sticky. And that did tone it down a little bit. Like I said, you just have to play with items and figure it all out. But so I'm going to change my mind and I'm going to put some, because I thought that will, the grungy look will go. Sometimes you just save it with how you finish it off. So these are the Dollar Tree sunflowers that I coffee stain dyed. So we're going to put those in there. And then I have some other florals I will add in there to finish it off. So now I'm going to start off with a pair of swans. Barcode, new, head fall off. I don't know, like with the dashes, they were trying to like make feathers. I don't know. And then the weirdness of the head. I mean, I get that. It's probably carved in two parts. But then I have a little baby, so I just love the baby swan thing. And we will get these tags off. Okay, Bondo is a two-part filler. So you got your putty and then you have your hardener. And I'm just going to kind of guesstimate. And for you that are smell sensitive, it does have a smell, but once you mix it together, I mean, I use it so much, I guess it's like being a hairdresser and doing perms back in the 80s. You just get used to the smell. So then you add a little bit of the hardener. And then get the two mixed together. And as soon as you start mixing it together, it starts to harden. So you only have a few minute window period to work in to get this on. But within like 5-10 minutes, once you have it on, it's ready to be sanded. So it makes for a quick, easy filler that you don't have to wait all day for it to set up or dry. There's a lot of those little cuts. That's the only thing I think of, like, oh, we tried to make feathers. I don't know. Okay, we are dry enough. It will feel a little gummy, but that is a good stage to sand it at, because the longer you let it sit, the harder it is to sand. Okay, so I've got them sanded. I'm just saving myself a little bit of work. I probably will repaint them in the black, but because you can't, like this one has glass eyes, and this one just has little dots. But I thought I would just tape off a little bit just to help myself out later on. I'm going to use some Tite Bond. I can see the holes now. Shouldn't be that difficult, should it? There they are. I found them. And then while that's gluing, you can see that gap. I'm going to take some air dry clay instead of Bondo, which air dry clay dries pretty fast, but I just don't want you to see so much, and the glue will help adhere it a little bit. And I'm just going to squish it in there. I'm just taking a wet paper towel, pushing it in there, and then kind of working it out even, making myself a little bit less work when I have to go to sand it a little bit. I've created a lot of raw wood now. Other than dusting it off, that's really all that I did. Now I'm going to seal everything in with shellac, a couple coats, because that first coat's going to really soak into that raw wood. And then I'll kind of adjust if I need one or two more coats. Okay, there's something about a white swan. So I'm doing Sweet Pickins flour sack. This is a 1/4 cup. I'm going to mix up a thick paint, meaning not as much water. So I have 1/2 cup in there. I'm going to do 1/4 cup of the water and see how much more water I need to add in. Oh yeah, way too dry. I'll do a 1/2 of that. It's amazing what just that little 1/2 will do. And then you mix it all that yumminess together, and as it sits, it thickens. So it may seem a little bit runny, but it will thicken up, trust me. I think I'll start off with my little guy. Oh, see? Told you, it thickens right up. We're looking for a crackling finish. So I'm just going to kind of tap. Not worried about the bottom, because we can make the bottom pretty when we're all done. And I don't mind that underneath color coming through, because I think it gives character. Difficult spots out of the way first sometimes, like the neck. This is why I wanted to tape off, because I didn't want to glue or have so much paint in the middle of all that. There, now we can wipe on. I think I got it going on there now. There's just something about that aged weather look that just has my heart, and I do well with it, and I just love it. We are all painted. We're just going to let it sit and dry. Okay, now so this is the milk paint crackle. I like that it's not uniform. It's all kind of all over the place. And now, like I said, we can sand that paint drippage off the bottom. That's not any big deal. so I don't go crazy with electric sander. I'm going to see if I can hand sand some of the, you get some of those bumps and uneven from doing the paint like that, which is what I like. I like the perfectly imperfect of it. Okay, let's see what I need to do about my mouth. These ones, I've done little ones like this before, and they're hard because it's so close. Nothing like a picking tool to get that little edge there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and seal them in with some clear coat everywhere. And then I can go back in with the darker wax and not make my paint, kind of like the paint can where the paste made everything dark. And it was hard to get any of the darkness off. So it didn't really look as white as I was hoping for. Hey, that, you know what? We have to test out products. We have to figure them out. So that's the fun of playing is then you figure it out and you're like, oh, okay, I can make this look different. You know, or okay, well, maybe that product's not my vibe, or you know what I mean? You just, the first time you use something new, you gotta, it either is a wonderful experience or you gotta have a couple more trials and errors to get it to do what you want it to do. Now I have some of the Fusion's aging wax. Since I've sealed that paint in, it should just go into the cracks. And I have some Fusion in the coal black. Stick the end of the brush in. I know these were glass eyes, but the other one did not have glass eyes. Nothing says a whole bunch of dust that this has been sitting around for a while. So burgundy, cute little riser. Probably should dust that layer of dust off there. I'll probably give it a quick sanding. And then I'm just going to wipe it down, get the sanding dust off of there. So I'm going to seal this in with shellac. That will, as you see, you can already see where the red paint will start to bleed into the natural. Couple coats, because red is very bleedy. Even the burgundy, it's in the red family. Kind of have a white theme going on in this video today. I've got a lot of color going on in my booth. I haven't done white in a while, so I'm going to spray that inside so I don't have to worry about painting every little bit of this. Now I'm going to go back in with some flour sack for my little bench. I love flour sack. I love the white of it. I love the reaction of milk paint, how you can make it look old and aged and weathered. Okay, now I did not seal this in. I'm just going for it. So we're doing the flour sack. Because it's not going to be the same white, but with this spray paint, you kind of already doing like a whole coat. Actually, a whole 4 coats, because you know how white is to cover. And I don't mind like if it hopefully it cracks. It might act a little different because I don't have shellac underneath here. That's okay. We'll just distress it a different way. It's all about getting that aged look. Okay, now I can flip it over. Wipe off the excess off my hands. Now my paint is getting just a wee bit thick, so I'm just going to try to add just a drizzle of paint or water to it to make it a little bit easier to apply. White is a nice color to do because it's a nice neutral. Oh, just a little crackled, chippy bench. I'm going to go ahead and get it sanded. I love I guess I'm a fan of uneven crackles. Okay, I'm going in with Fusion's clear wax. I'm going to seal this. We're going to seal the milk paint in. Yep, I did purposely. I was hoping we want it to look like an aged, repainted item. Now we're going to go in with Fusion's aging wax. That's going to get into those crackles, maybe darken up, maybe, probably not, since I've already sealed it in. So So thank you so much for watching today's video. Yes, I need to play with that antiquing paste just a little bit. Wasn't really looking for my item to be as brown as it was. So some of the wax did help it come off. And then we just tied it together. I just rerouted what I thought I was going to put in there. And I think the sunflowers and distressing it down to a little bit of the yellow kind of ties it all together. So we still saved it. You know, sometimes the vision and the product, it just takes a little bit of time to get used to something. So, but the other two, the swans, it was time to do another set of swans, and little benches, little stools, little risers are always quick sellers. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, and you can see what I'm up to. Bye.